Deep in the harsh, unforgiving deserts of West Texas lies a land full of magic, secrets, and spectacular natural beauty, the Chihuahuan Desert. Today, we'll be trekking across some of its mountains, cliffs, and even a majestic canyon to cover the story of one of the most mysterious and inaccessible abandoned mines in the state, the Mariposa Mine. Hi, my name's Mauricio, and I love to explore beyond the beaten path. Join me as I travel around the globe to experience the most mysterious, spectacular, and unique hidden gems on the planet. The Mariposa Mine in Brewster County, Texas, ranks second in all-time production of quicksilver in the Terlingua mining district. However, despite the former glory days of this highly productive mining installation, its remote location has, from the very beginning, always made access a challenge. The mine's located about 93 miles away from its nearest railroad shipping point in Alpine, Texas. So after driving for hours across the desert to reach the access point, I'm finally ready to set off across the rugged landscape for the chance to catch a glimpse of what's left of this once grand former mining facility.
So that seems to be the remains of a mine over there. We're gonna go a little closer to check it out.
Before reaching the actual site of the abandoned Mariposa Mine itself, I begin to find the remains of several other equally spectacular abandoned mining operations on the way, such as this one, the Lone Star Mine. The Lone Star Mine, located near Lajitas, Texas, was in service on and off throughout several different points during the 1910s, 40s, and 50s, and it was even reopened briefly in the early 1970s by the Texas Mercury Company before being shut down again due to decreased mercury demand. Cinnabar was the primary ore extracted from the mine, while its waste material mainly consisted of clay and calcite.
Wow. This is insane. It actually looks like an old abandoned mine shaft. I don't know if it's related to the Mariposa Mine or not, but it's most likely some kind of mine shaft. Not sure how deep it goes, but it looks like they at least started digging there. Looks like they were just prospecting there, but it looks like they didn't find enough resources to justify continued digging. Or something could have caved in here. Looks like something may have caved, I don't know. It's hard to tell. A lot of the rocks I'm hitting here sound metallic almost. Probably have some ore. And there seems to be some kind of stone wall there. Let's check that out. A lot of different components around here. But yeah, there you have it. Some kind of stone structure. Looks like something that could have been used to slide ore down to the bottom, maybe, to some kind of processing center. Which would mean there's possibly something at the top of that. But first I'm gonna check out this one over here since I'm already going this way. I saw a big wooden structure in the distance earlier, so I'm gonna check that out first and then come back here. There was definitely something here earlier, although someone may have sealed it up in more recent times. Wow, some nice views here, for sure. How did they build this way up here, let alone hauling stuff up here? Wow, look at this. Some kind of slide and a sealed mine shaft over there. They must have been using this to slide minerals down. Incredible. And there's the sealed mine shaft. Somebody did their homework here and sealed it up. I wonder what's up here. If the main shaft is sealed, I'm pretty sure everything else is going to be sealed here, but let's just take a peek, see what it looks like. Well, 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 look at that. That is quite a mine shaft. Very nice. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay, I didn't dig too far here. Just a little bit to check for ore. Yeah, and it's sealed up ahead here. And you can see how they drilled some holes to look for the ore, but well, I guess here they may have found some, but it's just been sealed. Who knows how deep it went before it got sealed. Still a nice find though, really cool. Wow, now this is pretty cool here. Check this out. Some kind of brick structure here. Not sure if it was an oven or a furnace or what. It's a little treacherous, but I'm gonna get some good drone shots from a better angle and scout around for more stuff in the area. Okay, finally climbed up here to where the rails were. Wow, these are the rails we saw from the drone. That is impressive. Who knows how far they went in the past? Maybe even down there to help facilitate the ore extraction. Look at their tiny grade here. You got a little switch over there too. Wow, this might just be the thumbnail here. Wow, I love these switches to change track. Look at that. Yeah, it's definitely sealed. But you can still see some of the rails down here. That's really cool. Oh, and it just keeps going. That is intriguing. Oh, you can see pretty far down there. And I see stuff. I don't know what it is. And then you can see the rail turn way over there. That's really intriguing. I wonder if anybody checked it out before they sealed it. That would be really cool. There's even some cans left over. Pure lard, it says. Pure lard, interesting. Not sure what that was for. Oh, this is a good find here.
Today, all that remains of the Lone Star Mine's exterior are crumbling mine shafts, rails, and machinery. Although there are no doubt many more lost mining artifacts and relics inside the abandoned mine's precarious underground tunnels. Although I did find one access point where I could have actually entered into the Lone Star Mine's old crumbling tunnels, it looked extremely dangerous, and I would highly recommend against anyone trying to enter this particular mine.
So as I was covering more ground on my bike, I came across this. Not much left, but still really cool. Got a plant growing right in the middle of it. I can only guess that's where the motor was at one point. It's like an old, almost like a Model T Ford or something. It's part of its light. Really cool find. Really impressive that it made it all the way over here with how rough the roads are. Not sure what its story was, but it's really intriguing.
As I continue my hike through these stunning desert mountains, I eventually reach one of the most spectacular and underrated canyons in Texas, Croesus Canyon, which towers imposingly over the surrounding desert landscape, visible from well over a mile away.
I've reached the summit of this small mountain, and it is quite a view. But even better is we have a good vantage point to fly over the Mariposa Mine and see what's left of it. Let's check it out.
As I survey the canyon and the harsh, unforgiving cliffs that surround it, I begin to see signs of the legendary Mariposa mining operation. The top of the cliffs are dotted with the ruins of countless buildings and dwellings, sometimes in the harshest but most spectacular locations. After its founding around 1895, the Mariposa mine produced between 20,000 and 30,000 flasks of quicksilver. Most of the production took place before 1911, but the mine was still active during the First World War and again during the period from 1933 to 1942. In February of 1944, the Esperado Mining Company began reworking some of the old dumps and exploring an ore showing in the east wall of the mine's so-called Perry Pit. Reportedly, there are about 3 miles of mining tunnels under California Hill, where the mine is located. In total, there are 121 known shafts that are over 20 feet deep, 6 that are over 100 feet deep, and 2 that are 300 feet deep or deeper. The Contratero winze actually extends 200 feet below level 100 of the mine underground, and several thousand feet of drifts and crosscuts extending from the deeper shafts explore the mineralized ground through a vertical range of about 300 feet. Although almost all of the ore that was produced from from the mine came from its uppermost workings. Needless to say, the size of the mine's underground workings is nothing short of spectacular. And what we can see from the surface here is actually only the very tip of the iceberg. Nevertheless, exploring this place provides a window back in time to nearly 100 years ago. And it's fascinating to try to imagine what life must have been like here, long before the hustle and bustle faded away and Mariposa Mine was left to the mercy of the elements, to be reclaimed by the relentless, seemingly never-ending Chihuahuan Desert.
Wow, well, this has been an epic climb to the summit and an epic exploration of the abandoned Mariposa Mine. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed my video, and hopefully I'll see you out there on my next adventure.